Shalom. My name is Yehoshua Yaakov. This is being made from Jerusalem. Shalom to Raleigh Durham, North Carolina area. This is a commentary from Jerusalem. My name is Yehoshua Yaakov. I live in Jerusalem. I'm an American citizen. Lived here for the last 22 years. Let me see. I'm trying to get a. Oops, that's too bright. Okay, here we are. We'll turn it around this way. All right, that's better. Yes, I agree with Senator Obama. It was pretty spectacularly blundered and pathetic. I am constructing several emails to the news and the ABC management and executive. The two people who ran that so-called debate. That was not a debate. That was an assassination squad for the Clinton Inc. For the White House campaign. It was a disgrace. It was a sham, and they should be fired. And I personally, there is a news story of the century that will be boycotted to ABC as a result of that. They disgraced themselves in terms of their unprofessionalism. Okay, enough said. Moving on. Now, in terms of the issues for Raleigh Durham and for the people of Pennsylvania, and in particular in Philadelphia, the biggest single issue is the economy, and more specifically jobs. The dollar is plummeting in value. The trade deficit is rising. The unemployment is rising. We're in recession. One doesn't have to be a rocket scientist to understand that something fundamental has to change. Let me give one example of how extreme. There's the generalization, which is absolutely right on, of Barak, the tremendous discrepancy and preference in Washington between Wall Street and Main Street. Let's give one specific example. Mr. Paulson, a hedge fund wheeler dealer, made $3.7 billion last year. Now get this. This guy is making $3.7 billion on the wild, grandiose, spectacular speculations of his hedge fund in calling the shots. Hey, folks, let's smell the coffee. The very industry that produced the subprime mountain of trash and garbage, of predatory loans, the extremes of this industry that produced such a sham, using the public treasury. Okay, this guy turns around and bets on the meltdown of the subprime market, and he makes $3.7 trillion. How did he know that? Well, I think it just might have something to do with him being intimately a part of the industry that produced that very problem. Now that's a hell of a clever game you got there. Now, having said all of that, that's just one example. Now let's move on. Let's get to Tachlis. Sorry, that's the bottom line. The solution for the problems has to bring forth a fundamental transformation of the economy, specifically the new economic paradigm, its author. And it is by name the integration of labor. The framework in which it attains is the new East-West convergence model, which is Humanomics in general, and its central organizing principle is the new cognitive behavioral science paradigm, receive to give, and the integration of labor. The latter is the focus. The DNC Platform Committee will have tabled the new economic paradigm as the central organizing premise of the campaign for president. It will elect the next president of the United States, and that will be Barack Obama, with God's help and blessing, continued blessings. And the first thing that President Obama will do, and he will begin it before he even is sworn in, and that is assembling a team that makes a new national platform and policy to develop and implement and acculturate the new economic paradigm model. The first day in office, they will begin to execute their plan and program for 2009 for a mandate from the Congress to invest $4 to $5 trillion in a world-class global technological infrastructure derived from the new economic paradigm. Why? It will create, by the end of the first year, tens of thousands of sustainable domestic content jobs a month, and will continue uninterrupted, increasing those numbers through years 11 and 12 until there is full employment. Everybody retooling and retraining and reeducating the entire U.S. workforce to make it the most competitive in the world for the century ahead. This world-class global technological infrastructure based upon the new economic paradigm will eliminate the national debt, and by years 18 to 20 will have tripled from 14 trillion, the present level of GDP output, to in the range of 45 to 50 trillion. By years 12 to 14, the dollar will have tripled in value, and there will be no unemployment again. There will be no deficit, zero. There will be no Social Security deficit. There will be no trade deficit. It's a win-win situation. Where are we going to get that? We already have a 9 trillion. This is rosy scenario. No, it's not. It's based upon world-class science and international content. The new economic paradigm represents decades of fundamental research into new methods of organizing macro production and distribution in the developed economies, in particular the G9. Now, having said this, the win-win situation is that not only will it take 4 to 5 trillion of investment, but good news, properly organized, mandated in law, about 60% of that investment will come from the G9 in order to be partnering with America, and 40% of the investment will come from America. As I said, it'll be amortized over 18 to 20 years, paid down fully. It's a win-win situation. Folks, this is Barack Obama's plan to create tens of millions of sustainable jobs and lead us forward. And this is going to develop not only the U.S. As the restore the leadership of America, but it's going to lead the free world. Most importantly, the greatest benefactor of this win-win situation are the LDCs, the lesser developed economies. It's going to raise them up as well. So my friends in Raleigh Durham area, I used to live many years ago as a boy in Asheville for a while, Asheville, North Carolina, and I also lived in Asheville, yes, and I also lived anyway, I lived in Asheville, and it'll come to me in a minute. I lived in one other place too. Well, I was very young. It was a lot of years ago, like 40 years ago, and it was Bowcatcher Mountain. That's what I remember about Asheville. We went up there and drank some hooch, some bootleg booze, kids. Okay, that was before I was religious, and I was a ball player. Okay, having said all of that, we wish you blessings from Jerusalem. Vote for Barack Obama. He's a world-class. What I saw, and what we all saw, was these presidential. He rose above the riffraff and the assassinations and here is one of the biggest phonies and crooks in the world with all the most charlatanisms, the most shaded deals, and she's sitting there, and the moderators are questioning Barack Obama. What a pathetic performance! Fire those guys. Get rid of them. They're a joke. Anyway, so much for Barack Obama. Vote for him. He's a winner. Thank you for listening. I'm Yehoshua Yaakov, formerly Michael O'Donnell, an American citizen living in Jerusalem. Thank you for listening. Shalom to Raleigh Durham.